Today we have Millie. She's a 4.5, almost 5-month Goldendoodle, female. Potty training is so-so. She likes to pee on the carpet and rugs and things like that. Wants to have good manners inside the house and outside the house. Wants a solid recall and also to stay in the yard. She definitely pulls hard on the leash and doesn't really have any manners. She just has no regard for leash pressure or for understanding what leash pressure is or any regard for the human at the other end of the leash. It's almost like we're not even there. So here we go. All right, so this is how she regards life. Not a care in the world. Just likes to be out there. So now I'm going to walk her next to me. All right, this is what it looks like in our attempt. Kind of responds if I get a really nice hard pull, but not really. Okay, so here's the thing with this collar. You hear that? You hear how she's pulling like that? And that collar's putting pressure right on her throat. And yeah, we all know the dog's doing it to themselves, so it's probably okay, right? Because if it was hurting the dog, they wouldn't do it to themselves, but that's not true. Dogs tolerate discomfort and pain in a totally different way than people do. So they'll definitely put themselves through more discomfort for things that are fun, like leading the way or pulling towards a distraction. It's up to us to help our dog stay within some sort of limit, especially if we want them to be able to exist with us peacefully. All right, we're going to get her started on a prong. Yes, a prong, absolutely. Young puppy, 4.5, almost 5 months. We're going to get a prong collar going and get some communication happening. Pretty apparent right now how there's no communication here. The communication is like, stay with me and stop pulling my arm. It's not. The communication, it doesn't exist. I'm anticipating this intro to take a little longer, maybe, depending. But getting her dialed in on walking is something that'll probably happen over the next day or two, not necessarily all right here in 5 minutes. No, it's not about corrections or anything like that at this point. Pretty much just getting her going so we can have a better time with the leash work. Yeah, she's digging in. She's a sled dog. Look at her go. Digging it in. All right, so we're going to size her right now. We haven't done any of this yet, so she's pretty much brand new here. So we'll go ahead and get this sized up. And I'm actually just going to take a link out on each side right off the bat. So just going to go ahead and swoop it under her neck, get it on, take more out. That should be good. And then, so we're going to bring that to the top of the neck. Now we're going to switch the leash to the prong, and then we're going to put our safety in place. Trusted carabiner, look at that, you get a nice color. Definitely want it high on the neck for this crazy puller. We'll get started. Good job already. Okay, let's do it. All right, so just very simple leash pressure exercise. Come on. Good. There we go. Good job. Go play. She wanders off. Just a little distance is all I need. Don't need too much. I'm going to step back, a little pressure with the leash. She goes with it. There we go.
No, this isn't a great spot with the shade.
Good.
It's like
right here?
Yeah, like let's do that's better because then I can also stay on this side a little bit better and then my shadow's not in it.
Okay, so now we're going to back up. Little pressure. Come on. Good jobs. We'll squat down to help her understand. And then go play. Let her wander off. Very easy for her to do that. Then I'm going to back up. Don't need too much length. Come on. Good. There we go. A little guidance on the way. So now, come on. She's doing really well, so I'm just going to, a little bit of guidance here. Just get her to follow me around a little bit. This is not rocket science. Any of you can do this at home. Come on. There we go. So see that moment where she's like, oh, I don't know what this means. And then she looks at me and starts to come to me. She committed. Then we tell her, good. Let her know in the moment of confusion, the second she chooses the decision that's correct, good job. I want to mark that behavior and let her know. That's the feedback we want to give her. So step back again. She's kind of hanging out, stuck behind me. Crazy puppy. And then, come on. Good job. Good job. Good job. Go play. So now that wasn't very many. Don't need to do too many. So now that I know that she's receiving the leash pressure, she's following it, I'm going to go ahead, pretty simple, and just start helping her learn to walk in a straight line without too much zigzag left to right. All right, so she definitely likes to zigzag. Now this is very, pause here, wait for it. Come on. And good, there we go. So she's so quick to move that if I give her too much slack, she'll move, hit the end of the leash, and then the pressure on the leash will be too much, right? So what I want to do, come on, is keep the excessive movement a little bit less. There we go. Just a little bit of guidance. That way she receives that leash pressure more gently. There we go. Good. So now that I'm starting to have control, and she's trying to, you can see that she's trying to dart behind me to go to this side because she's so used to being everywhere. Now that she's having trouble doing that, the excited behavior starts to come out in other ways, right? Can't go that way, she can't go that way. So there is a little bit of confusion right now. And the same would be true if we were using another tool in using that to keep her within boundary. It's a new thing for the dog. Even if we were using a flat collar and doing this and helping her walk straight, a lot of times dogs will not get it right away, and they'll slow down and try to take control back and start mouthing the leash and things like that. So we're gonna work her through it. Come on. And as we're consistent, as you're consistent with your dog, the more you help your dog stay following your lead. You don't want that role reversal to keep going back and forth. And you're structuring enough stuff for your dog in the home, outside the home, walks and things like that. Then you end up with a dog that can follow your lead in a very smooth way. So this is the beginning day where you kind of work through some of that initial confusion. All right, so a few minutes in, working a square. This is a left-hand square where I use the leash to slow her down. We turn together and then use the leash to slow her down a little bit. We turn again. And so this is not just walking straight and steady. She's learning to stay in position throughout a turn or throughout a walking maneuver. So I'll slow down, we'll turn. It takes a little bit more attention from her to stay with me when we're maneuvering. It's easy for the dog to act all crazy when you're walking straight and steady and you're not really challenging the dog's attention any more than walking straight and steady, right? So I'm going to flip this around. We'll do a right-hand square. And this is where she's going to have to follow. I turn, she's going to have to follow. So I'm not leading the turn by pressing her. When I turn left, we're kind of pressing through the dog. On the right turn, she's got to follow still. Dog usually wants to swing wide, so I'm going to help her stay a little bit tight. There we go. Good. Good. So now that she's getting on track, she's learning the sensation from the prong, what that means, starting to follow the lead. We are going a little bit slow for her to catch on because we wanted to work through some of that initial resistance. We do get initial resistance in training. For a dog that typically for a dog that's not used to having boundaries, you start implementing boundary and then they don't know what it means. So you stay consistent with it initially and throughout. And then what happens is she starts to catch on and now she starts following really nicely. She still doesn't know what it means to stay attentive for very long. She's young and she likes to be all over the place. So come on. But this is still a lot better than what it was. Because she's following me more, you can see the shift where she's crazy excited puppy and now she's a lot calmer as a result, right? Already a lot calmer just from helping her learn to not just pull and go crazy all the time. Now, because we're walking straight for a while, there is a tendency for the dog's excitement to escalate or go back up a little bit, and that's okay. We're going to work her through it. And because she's still excited, I'm going to slow the pace down. Now, when she comes out of position, it takes very little effort to help her, and she's able to think through it a little easier, better to understand what it is that we want. If we're going too fast and she's too excited, then a lot of times the input from the leash, she doesn't make sense of it because her brain's going too quickly. We'll give her a little break. The next thing we're going to do with her is we're going to go through the doorways, all the doorways in the house, exterior and interior doors and sliding glass doors. And we're going to help her learn how to just yield at the threshold. Just because the door swings open doesn't mean it's time to plow through. We still want her to be able to wait with us patiently and walk with us nicely through the doorways and things like that. Soon after that, we're going to get her going on a remote collar. We're going to start layering that remote collar onto a little bit of the walking stuff, as well as the threshold work and the interior work and things like that too. We got Millie going on her first prong collar session. Any of you guys can do this. It's pretty simple. Just follow along, put the prong collar on your dog, and go slowly. If you've got a dog that pulls you around, whether it's a young dog or a crazy adult dog, it's all very similar in terms of pressure on, pressure off, guide, and then loosen. Help your dog learn the input through the leash. But not on a flat collar. Prong collar that's properly fit is going to be really good for that. Absolutely begin structuring stuff for your dog. You're going to have a much better life. Structure that you implement now means more freedom for you and your dog later on in life. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can get notified when we upload. Any questions, be sure to contact us and we'll see if we can get you sorted out. I'm CJ Quick with Intelligent Canine. Thanks for watching.